Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and thanks for tuning in to another battle in Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD. This is a 2v2 Pike and Shot battle, and the first Pike and Shot battle that I uploaded some months ago was actually quite well received, so I'm happy to bring another one to you guys today. Let's go ahead and get the army comps out of the way, and then we'll get the battle started. Alright guys, so for the army comps, we're going to do something that I haven't done before, and that is look at all of the army comps together as one. And the reason for that is because in these Pike and Shaw battles, you want to make it as balanced as possible, and the only real way to do that is to make sure that everybody brings pretty much exactly the same army. So we're just going to look at the players, the factions that they're playing as, and then we'll look at one of the armies in great detail, because if you see one army, its exact carbon copy on all of the other armies. And you know what's very cool is that Azri and Fox's cavalry here, they're actually making Fs. Is that Fs on the battlefield for what's going to happen to that cav? We'll find out very soon. But let's go ahead and start over here with my ally. So we'll look at his army actually in depth, and then we'll just kind of gloss over the other three. So as I said, it is a 2v2. This is Tattoos and Welding playing as the Duchy of Burgundy, and everybody was allowed to bring 5 units of cavalry, so he has 4 units of Burgundian gendarme over here, and then we do have his general, the Duke's bodyguard, back with his artillery. For the pikemen, everybody brought 21 units of pikemen, and then 10 units of handgunners. That way it's balanced because everybody has the same amount of handgunners, everybody has the same missile advantage, and everybody has the same pike line. So nobody could claim that they had more of an edge or less of an edge than their opponent. And that pretty much rounds it out. So 10 units of handgunners, 21 units of pikemen, 5 units of cavalry, and then each of us were allowed to bring 4 units of artillery. So we were allowed to bring 2 units of culverin and 2 units of mortar. And that's pretty much it for Tattoos and Welding's force, playing as the Duchy of Burgundy. Next is my army, and I have pretty much the exact same army as he does, but I am playing as France. I believe I played France in my last Pike and Shot battle as well. I really like France because they have these mercenary Swiss pikemen, which are some of the best pikes in the game, in my humble opinion. But again, I've got 21 units of the pikemen, 10 units of the handgunners. I've obviously got my general, the King of France, on the battlefield, just as he was in his last Pike and Shot battle, which was a victory, I might add. And I've also got 4 units of artillery, 2 culverin, and 2 mortars. And then for my cavalry, I've brought 1 unit of the Gentilhomme avec des carbins, and then I've got 3 units of the regular gendarme. Moving on to my opponent, I am facing off against DeBoss 11111, who's playing as the Duchy of Brabant. Again, he's got the 10 units of Guild handgunners. He has 21 units of the Brabantian pikemen. His cavalry is back here in a line. He accidentally brought 1 extra cavalry unit, but we let it slide. It's not a big deal. I think he thought that it was 5 plus the general, but it was actually 4 plus the general. But with that in mind, he's got a couple units of gendarmes, I believe 4 units of them actually, and then this is the extra one that he brought, which is a mounted sergeant unit, but they're not really that good anyways. They're melee calves, so it wasn't a huge deal. And of course, way over here, we have the Duke of Brabant on the battlefield as well. Looking at the final opponent, which is facing off against Tattoos and Welding, this is Azri and Fox playing as his beloved County of Flanders. Again, having the 10 units of handgunners, he has the 21 units of Flemish pikemen, and then this team has interestingly kept all of their artillery together, so we'll see how that goes. But not all these are his. These are DeBoss's artillery down here, and then this is Azrian's 2 culverins and 2 mortars. He also has his Count of Flanders on the battlefield, and then for his cavalry, he has brought some Flemish knights. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, they're all Flemish knights. So there is the armies in a nutshell, guys. As I said, very similar. Now, the only thing that wasn't similar about it was where we could allocate our chevrons. So we'll see how that plays out. Some deciding to really chevron up their handgunners, others chevroning up their cavalry. but it's a very balanced battle, so really it's all about what kind of strategy you take to the battle, and that's really what's going to win it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, welcome to the battlefield, and as you can see, I have pushed my handgunner and pike line right up to engage the handgun and pike line of the boss 11111. And while he is focusing my handgunners with his handgunners, I am pushing my handgunners up into range to start weakening this pike line. There's two things that I always try to do when I play pike and shot battles, and that is to weaken the enemy pike line with my handgunners, and also to use my artillery to batter down the enemy cavalry. And you can see if I turn on the HUD that his cavalry has already taken quite a pounding, and this is the great thing about doing this, is that the opposing player will try to pull his cavalry far back and out of the way of your artillery, and that leaves him very exposed to my own cavalry charge. So I've got my 4 units of cavalry up and close, and you can see I'm already starting to focus his pikemen with my gunners. I'm completely ignoring his gunners with my gunners because that's the cavalry's job. The cavalry is the one that's going to take out the handgunners. My handgunners are going to take out his pikes, and my pikes are going to take out his cavalry. It's actually just a large game of rock, paper, scissors, and I've decided to place the rock onto... Would these be scissors? I guess these would be scissors. I would assume they're scissors. Anyways, the good analogy is starting to turn terrible, so let's just enjoy this awesome cavalry charge of my gendarmes right into the boss's unsuspecting handgunners. And you can see that his cavalry is way too far behind. They are not even close enough to counter this. And I am just going to continue moving down the line. I've got 4 units of cavalry, and I'm going to have each cavalry unit hit 1 unit of handgunners. And I'm also hitting it at kind of a 45-degree angle, because if I'm lucky and I spread my cavalry out enough, 1 unit will actually catch 2 units of handgunners and stop them from firing. So at this point, the boss realizes what I have done, and he is starting to push his pikemen forwards, but the damage is done. It's too late. I already have the advantage in this this side of the battle. Now we'll go over and take a look at what Azrian and Tattoos and Welding are doing shortly, but our battle on this side between me and the boss starts way before theirs does. So let's go ahead and just put this on play. You can see it's not too long of a battle. It's only 22 minutes long, but look at his handgunners. This one has been wrecked. This one is wavering. It will probably break soon. I need to be a little careful charging so close to his pikemen. You can see that I did disengage that gendarme just in time. But this is where the boss realizes what has gone on, and he's going to activate his gendarme to try and do a little sneak attack around my pike line. And I'm kind of caught with my pants around my ankles here because I wasn't expecting him to react as quickly. And you can see that my pike line is not in position. So I'm going to sacrifice one of my gendarmes to challenge his weakened one. And I'm quickly just trying to get this one into the corner of this cavalry and clip it, and that's exactly what happened. So very unlucky for him that it stopped that charge, but he is able to get most of his cavalry through. However, they're getting caught on this pike unit and actually taking a bit of damage, which is really lucky for me. And I'm trying to quickly get my cavalry over there. I'm actually charging my own pikemen as that happens, and I'm just trying to protect my artillery, because my artillery is completely open and exposed right now. The only thing that's really defending it is my general. But thankfully, this brave unit of gendarmes is actually doing a pretty solid job of holding them back. I've also disengaged another cavalry unit just in case I need it, but look at the damage that's been done on DeBoss's handgunner line. This one is hanging on with half strength, this one is broken, this one is down to half strength. He's getting better at pushing his pikemen in, but as I said, the damage is kind of done. And look what's going on. We've just got a very quiet skirmish phase between Tattoos and Welding and Azrian Fox, and I believe that they're skirmishing each other's handgunners. So it's very interesting to see the different plays between the two players. So it's almost like Azrian and Tattoos and Welding are matching each other's strategies, whereas on this side, it's a completely different battle, and DeBoss and I have an all-out cavalry brawl, and it's just absolute mayhem. And credit where it's due, DeBoss has done quite a bit of damage to my army as well. You can see a lot of them are kind of at half health. But the reason for that is not just DeBoss's artillery, but I believe that Azrian's artillery was focusing over here at one time as well. Let's just go ahead and enjoy this huge cavalry brawl over here amidst all of my pikemen. We can just see the battle unfolding right behind. There's the mortars, too, right overhead. Now, is this my cavalry? I think I had my general here, yeah, just in case I needed him. You can see my pikemen are not faring very well over here. DeBoss has also pushed 2 pikemen in here to combat any cavalry charges, so that's good on him, kind of locking that down. But his cavalry was already weakened so much from my artillery that now his cavalry engaged with my cavalry just doesn't have a chance. It's really unfortunate. Well, there we go. It looks like the Gentilhomme avec de Combat, something like that, some French name for the cavalry. They are engaged as well, and thankfully my pikemen did hold on to see the the Brabantian cavalry off the battlefield. So very unfortunate that they have broken, and because they're so close to the red line, I think they will shatter for good. Let's zip over here and see what else is going on. So, looks like a couple of Azrian's gunners are actually breaking. Now, interestingly enough, it looks like Tattoos and Welding was able to afford 1 gold chevron on his handgunners, whereas Azrian could only afford 2 silver chevrons. So that's probably why his are breaking before Tattoos and Welding's are. But look at this, he's also got some of his handgunners over here starting to focus my pikemen. So I realize at this point that I need to push my pikemen forwards, because they are all dying. You can see there's a long line of them here. They are all dying, and none of them are getting any kills. So I try to push them in as quickly as possible. I've also got some of my cavalry behind DeBoss's lines as well. I'm just leaving them there, causing a little bit more mayhem. Let's go ahead and turn this back to play here. I do love pike and shot battles, though. Anything can happen in a pike and shot battle. It's difficult because not many people play it, so the strategies aren't really well known. And I feel bad for DeBoss because this was his very first pike and shot battle, so I will say that. I've had experience with pike and shot battles, and he has not. So that's probably why he wasn't really expecting the cavalry charge. He was probably expecting me to skirmish a little bit more due to the fact that we have a lot of handgunners. But there we go. Huge charge into the backs of that unit of pikemen. That was absolutely disgusting. And then I think the same thing over here. This unit of pikemen that's moving. Huge charge into them. He is disengaging a unit of pikemen that was in melee with my pikemen to... or wait, hold on. False alarm, they're broken. Okay, I thought he was going to engage that unit into my cavalry to protect the rear of this one. But yeah, look, with just having a couple of units in behind enemy lines, my general, the King of France, is also over here as well. Let's just go ahead and slow this down. Where is the king? He should be here somewhere. Oh, there he is! There he is! The King of France is behind the lines of the Duchy of Brabant. Attacking the pikemen. Very precarious situation for him, though. I've got to be careful that I don't lose my general early on. DeBoss is engaging with some more units of pikemen. He's bringing fresh units forwards. But now my gunners are able to just focus them down in the backs because they have to turn around to face the cavalry. And thankfully, he does have his mounted sergeants here as well, trying to lock down my Gentilhomme avec de Combat. But yeah, over here, I've pretty much won the flank. That's what I needed. I needed to crack the flank so that I could start to push in on his pike line, which is just starting to engage my pike line. So after 6 minutes of battle, our pikes are just beginning to meet, which is absolutely incredible. See, there we go. We've got some pikes engaging over here. We've actually got some gunners that are engaging some pikemen here. That's probably my gunners. I should pull them back. But over here, still nothing going on. They're still in the skirmish phase. So interesting. And both of their cavalry is very healthy. So this is a very even battle over here. So me and DeBoss are at each other's throats on the right side of the map. And on the left side of the map, it's a very, very even fight. Now, I would say the edge is maybe just a touch into Tattoos and Welding's favor, but the only reason for that is because of the handgunners with the gold chevrons. So you can see that Azrian's handgunners are not faring as well, but look at the mirror movement of the cavalry here. Azrian moving his cav up, Tattoos and Welding moves his cav up. And Tattoos and Weldings has triple gold chevron on his cav. Azrian Fox only has double silver. So I wonder if the County of Flanders isn't as cost effective with this, because it seems that the Duchy of Burgundy, played by Tattoos and Welding, he has a lot more chevrons than the County of Flanders. Very, very interesting. Now, I love to see this from Azrian, too. He is really protecting his flanks. He's actually got 4 units of pikemen here protecting his flanks. And here we go. I love when the pikemen move forwards in unison. Look at the shower of pikes. Well, it's not really a shower. I shouldn't really call it that, but it's just like a forest. That's what I'm looking for. A forest of pikes moving forwards. Azrian realizing that his gun line is losing substantially now. He's going to have to do something soon. But over here, still absolute mayhem. If I turn on the HUD so you guys can see what's going on, we've got unit after unit after unit of pikemen being disengaged from the front lines over here and being moved over to deal with my cavalry. Look, I've still got cavalry charging into pikemen back here. It's absolutely insane. There we go, a huge hit with those pikemen, and as those pikemen from Brabant start to get up, look at this, they're being surrounded by my units of mercenary Swiss pikemen. I have to be careful with my general, though. Where is my general at? There's his general. So his general, the Duke of Brabant, is a little bit banged up. Mine is a little bit banged up as well, but I think I'm going to try and go for another charge on the backs of pikemen that are engaged here. Slow this down so we can enjoy it. The battle's so fast-paced, I want you guys to enjoy a little bit of cinematic action there. Beautiful hit. You can see the King of France there as well, surrounded by his loyal French bodyguard. I could just see him shouting commands and spurring his men on. His men are fighting in the front lines, and they look behind the lines of the enemy, and they see the standard of the King of France. Oh, but look at this, look at this. We've got a gun unit actually focusing down my general's bodyguard. You could see all of the handgun shots just meeting their mark and ripping through that plate armor. Look at that. Don't die, French King, don't die. Hold. And where is the King, or sorry, the Duke of Brabant? He is over here. We're gonna keep an eye on him. But let's see what's going on. Okay, so it looks like we do have some movement from cavalry here, but it looks like they were not able to penetrate the Burgundy pikeman lines. We've got 2 units that are fresh holding behind enemy lines, and it looks like they're just kind of forming up a little ways away from each other. So they haven't exactly decided to engage just yet, but we do have pikemen pushing in. Maybe they'll be able to engage the handgunners, which would be excellent to see. But yeah, you can see that my units are slowly folding in this U-shaped pattern around the Brabantian troops, and they are just suffering many casualties. This unit of pikemen over here is not going to last too much longer, but it is holding a few units of the Brabantian, or sorry, these are actually Azrian's pikemen, so it looks like some Flemish pikemen are actually coming to this side to help, which is very, very interesting to see. And it looks like we do have the Duke of Brabant coming across here. He's got 20 men in his unit. I'm not sure where he's going to go, though. I'm trying to box him in with my pikemen. Yeah, he is going to disengage and pull back towards the safety of his army. Let's zip over here and see if the pike line has begun. It has, the Battle of the Pikes. And this is one of the reasons that I love Pike and Shaw battles. Just look at the Forest of Spears there. And we've got Tattoos and Welding's gunners engaged as well. And look at this, Tattoos and Welding actually moving his cavalry away from his side of the battlefield towards the other side. So I think he notices that there is an opening on the other side of the battle, because on this side, there's no room to get around. You can see that the red line is here, so there's no room for anyone to get pikemen through this way. So Tattoos and Welding sees an opportunity, and he's going to bring his cavalry over to this side of the battle, which is actually a good thing because this is a lot closer than it actually is. Or than it actually looks, I should say. DeVos is really holding me, and I'm losing a lot of men in this engagement. Just look at this mess over here. Nobody knows who's fighting. Who's fighting who? Where are they fighting? But yeah, there we go. You can see in the distance the cavalry from the Duchy of Burgundy. Oh my goodness, a hit right in front of us as well. Those are the mortars overhead. And there's the Duke of Brabant. He's defending his artillery to the last. I've got some pikemen pushing in against the handgunners. And I'm also moving up some handgunners of my own. Yeah, you can see that some of the pikemen are just holding strong here. They don't want to move back to the safety of the Duke of Brabant, who's kind of got a last stand going on. Because they'll just be shot in the back. But now I'm using my gunners to just rip them to shreds over here. So yeah, it's not looking good. Let's come over to this side of the battle, though, because we haven't really focused too much on what Tattoos and Welding and Azer and Fox are doing. But it is just a massive pipeline. Azrian's pikes looking a little bit more depleted than Tattoos and Welding's, though. Those are some big units still left, and a lot of fresh units as well. Yeah, a lot of them haven't even lost a man. And Azrian's cavalry is over here too. He should have brought it over here because I have a lot of units out of position, and I'm also out of cavalry, if you guys can see that. And look at this, we've got the Duke of Brabant coming over here. I think he is going to try and head after my gunners. He is getting quite depleted, though. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, he's actually pulling back. Okay, fair enough. Oh, he's trying to actually catch the Burgundian gendarmes, which have got into some of the units of handgunners from the County of Flanders. So this is Azer and Fox's troops that are being caught out, unfortunately. The Duke of Brabant bravely pushing in with only a unit of 16 men. Let's zoom in here and see some of the close-up fighting action. There we go. Hold, Duke of Brabant, hold. You must not waver. Got some more cavalry moving over here. Is this Azer and Fox's cavalry? No, it's actually Tattoos and Welding's cavalry. But look at this. We've got a huge wave of pikemen moving onto Azer and Fox's flank. This is not good for him. Also, his pikemen on this flank are breaking. So it looks like on both instances and both sides of the battle, the right flank for the enemy has broken first. This is really disastrous for Azer and Fox. And, okay, thankfully the Duke of Brabant did manage to break that cavalry with the help of the handgunners. That's actually quite a surprise. But I have some handgunners lined up, and I am ready to fire at that Duke of Brabant. There we go. You can see that he is quickly trying to come over here to charge my handgunners. Here we go. Oh, yes! Oh, it's an execution of the Duke of Brabant. How unfortunate for the Duke of Brabant to be brought down in a hail of gunfire. And I think that does put the nail in the coffin of the Army of Brabant. You can see that they are completely shattered at this point. There's really nothing left that they have aside from some of their artillery crews, which are going to break shortly. So now all eyes are basically on Azer and Fox over here. The balance of power not looking very good, but he is doing an excellent job over here breaking through these pike lines. Tattoos and Welding, man. What are you doing? And look at this, getting another charge into the backs of them. Weirdly, they did seem to get their pikes down in time to stop the charge. But now that the floodgates are open here, Azer and Fox is quickly trying to push his cavalry through this gap. And who is this? Is this Tattoos and Welding's general? Yes, so it looks like we do have the Duke's bodyguard here to try and stop that cavalry from getting any further, and one of the Flemish knight units did break, unfortunately. But they have done a decent amount of damage to the pikemen that are pushing heavily on Azrian's right flank. But now this is where disaster starts to strike. You can see Azrian, good battlefield awareness, quickly trying to get his pikemen out of this unfavorable position. It looks like he is going to sacrifice this one because he can't get it out in time, and it looks like he is going to try and fall back to a more favorable position. Retreat! Pull back to the hill! Rally to the general! I could just see him Theoden just blowing his horn. Rally to me! There we go. And Tattoos and Welding, the gentleman that he is, it looks like he is going to let Azrian Fox move into a position to set up before he does push in. So he is giving him some time, which is very respectable. But yeah, this is all that Azrian Fox has. So it looks like he has a couple units of handgunners. He's got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 units of pikemen, 11 to 12 units of pikemen. He does have this unit of cavalry still left, which is still trying to harass the pikes. Here we go. Gets a really good side charge on these pikes. Because Tattoos and Welding left a little gap here. Yeah, they're basically able to push right through that gap. So that is not good for Tattoos and Welding, allowing such a potent unit to get behind his lines. And this is what I was talking about, guys, about that 45-degree charge. You saw that he came kind of on an angle, and he hit 2 units there of pikemen with devastating results. And now, mind you, a lot of these guys will get up, but a lot of them won't. And here we go, another 45-degree charge. That one's a little bit too much of an angle, I think. He did get that one pretty well, though. Oh, Tattoos. You need to lock this down. How many kills has he gotten? 140 kills already. And here we go. This is where Azrian Fox is forming up for his last stand. The general getting dangerously in range of some of my gunners. You can see that they have formed up on this hilltop and are ready to fire at the Flemish Duke. He's probably just in shock. He's overseeing the battlefield. He's got tunnel vision. He's so unaware of what's around him because he's basically just looking at the remnants of his army just forming up for that last stand. And he isn't even aware that he is in harm's way himself. Come on, Count of Flanders, snap out of it.
Look over there. There's the general, man.
You must hold. There we go. Oh, they're starting to get shot. And look at that. Look at the French units starting to move in on the Flanders position there. Or the Flemish position, I should say. And I'm still seeing that cavalry being annoying over there. There we go. Looks like he is going to finally get his general to safety. And over the hill, you can see the army of the victorious French claiming the hill. There's the standard. I love it. I love it. Pike and Shaw battles, man, they're so good. It's I wonder why more people don't actually play them. There we go. You can see the Flemish knights there being pursued by the knights from the Duke of Burgundy. General finally making it into his last stand, and there we go. You can see that the army of the Duke of Burgundy has surrounded the remnants of the Flemish army. Very, very cool. And there we go. It looks like we do have the Duke of Burgundy moving behind the pike lines. Let's go ahead and zoom into his position here. He has a pretty commanding view of the Flemish position, and he does find a weakness. The back is open. They don't have enough troops to form a complete square. Ooh, but that is dangerous. You can't let the handgunners fire at the Duke of Burgundy like that. You need to charge in. Come on, charge in, take them out, let's go. There we go. That's what I want to see. Lances out, boys. Where is he gonna go? He must be exhausted. That's a really slow charge, but there we go. Running down the Flemish handgunners. But then we do have the Count of Flanders activated. A little bit of a counter charge there, but not much. I think the Count of Flanders got a better charge off. And now we've got a General v General. I would love to find where the two generals are. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. A lot of them have gold helmets, so it's hard to say. It's hard to say which one is which, but let's zoom out and just take an overall look of the battlefield here, because I don't think there's too much time left, 3 minutes. I am respecting the 1v1 here. I've moved all my forces up to this hilltop. The victorious French are just going to watch the day be won by their vassal, the Duke of Burgundy. But just look at the carnage over here, guys. So many dead, and especially over here. This is the make or break stage of the battle, right at the beginning, where I was able to get around the flank of DeBoss. One little mistake has cost him the victory, which is very unfortunate. But as I said before, guys, DeBoss has never played a pike and shot battle, and for those who haven't played a pike and shot battle, the mechanics are completely different from a regular medieval battle. They're not the same in the slightest, so I don't fault DeBoss at all. It's a bit of a it takes a bit of getting used to. There we go. Looks like we do have the the Flemish resistance starting to break. Again, we've got more of the Burgundian pikes behind the French. Or sorry, I keep wanting to say that they're French, but we got the Burgundian pikes behind the Flemish lines. And we've still got the two generals duking it out over here. Who will win, the Count of Flanders or the Count of Burgundy? Or the Duke of Burgundy, I should say. I want to say that that is the Duke of Burgundy right there. I think that's him. Yeah, that looks like that would be him. And now the Count of Flanders. Where would he be? Maybe... no. I don't know, but anyways, it looks like we do have some pikemen being pushed in as well. And is that one of them breaking? Yes, unfortunately the Count of Flanders has broken, leaving the Duke of Burgundy victorious. And the Flemish pikemen have broken as well. And here comes the French king to claim victory over this battlefield. What a battle. What a battle. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this one. Pike and shot battles, some of them last quite a bit of time, and some of them are just over very quickly. And it all comes down to those plays right at the beginning. Being able to get around the flank with my cavalry like that really helped us out later on. Well done, well done. And I think these pikemen that are retreating, the French king might actually charge in. Or not, he might just watch them go by. Yeah, there we go, there we go. He's gonna charge in and get his sword bloody, his sword wet. Come on, get a kill, get a kill. Oh, there we go. But a Pyrrhic victory nonetheless. Let's go ahead and go to the end results screen. Alright guys, welcome to the end results screen, and you can see that everybody bar DeBoss 11111 brought the exact same army, and the reason for that is because he accidentally brought that one unit of mounted sergeants, but only 2 kills, it didn't really help him much anyways, unfortunately. But let's take a look at myself versus DeBoss. So 271 for my general, which is solid. My pikemen and my gunners, kind of a mixed bag. Some of them getting over 100 kills, some of them getting absolutely 0. I think that these pikemen here, the 0, 1, 20, 0, and 22, and also the gunners that are 20, 48, 0, maybe 167, those I think were on Azrian's side, so I think they were focused down by all of the artillery quite early on. But where I did really well was with my cavalry, and you can see the Gentilhomme avec des Corbins, they got 328 kills, which is very, very good. Also, my artillery doing pretty solid as well. Looking at DeBoss, he actually did better with his artillery than I did. 302 kills with this Culverin. Well done there. But his cavalry, unfortunately, it just didn't perform the way he needed it to. If his cavalry had performed a lot better and also hadn't have taken so much damage to my artillery, the battle could have gone completely different. That's why I love these Pike and Shaw battles, because one tiny little play could change the course of the entire battle. And me just having that cavalry advantage over him, that allowed me to break his right flank and to envelope in that U-shape that I showed you on the battlefield around the majority of his forces. And because of that fact, you can see that a lot of his pikemen didn't get many kills at all, and his gunners actually not doing too well, bar these two that got 167 and 217 kills. Looking at Tattoos and Welding versus Azrian Fox, 118 for his general. His pikemen, not very good, surprisingly, because I would have thought that his were doing better than Azrian's. A lot of them are still healthy, though. Azrian Fox's pikemen, doing about the same, I would say. But I think where the Duchy of Burgundy had the edge over the County of Flanders was with the gunners with the gold chevron. You can see what a difference the chevrons have made with 127, 116. Like, almost all of them have got over 100 kills, whereas a couple did for Azrian, but the majority did not, which is unfortunate. And the cavalry is also very even between them, which is interesting. They chose to do very similar strategies, and it almost produced very similar results. You can see the cavalry here, 286 versus 128, but the rest of the cavalry is actually quite low. Where Azrian did do better than Tattoos and Welding was with the artillery, though, 225, 215, and 150 versus just 160, 219, 103. For some reason, this one got 0 kills. I don't know exactly how that happened, but very interesting nonetheless. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this Pike and Shaw battle. It's something that's a little different that not too many people do, but as I said, you guys absolutely loved the first Pike and Shaw battle that I uploaded in 12.12. So without further ado, guys, that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one.